Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Very excited to welcome you to the show, and such an honor to have you leaning in to this time and space today. We are going to focus on our relationships, both business and professionally. How are we showing up? Are we choosing to shine? Are we choosing to echo out what matters most to us in how we're showing up in our relationships, both professionally and in business? I think sometimes we get into automatic and we just kind of go through the day, have it run us sometimes as we check things off our to-do list, and we go into autopilot and how we're connecting with people. And I believe we can shine, meaning we can reflect out, echo out what matters most to us in how we are showing up in our relationships. It's not just when we're quote unquote on stage. It's how we are touching people's lives in our everyday interactions with them. And relationships are an amazing place to move forward, to shine, to echo out those things that matter most to us. So I want to encourage you to be mindful of how you're interacting with others. How are you showing up personally? How are you showing up professionally? If someone were to describe you, would they do it in shining, glowing terms, their experience of you? Or would they not necessarily reflect out what you feel is important to you, that you are wanting to echo out from the inside out, every interaction? I believe we have those opportunities throughout the day, every day, in how we are choosing to stop, pause, and mindfully connect with others. So let's take a moment and connect in. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, like through a straw. Great. This past weekend, I was at a book signing event up in Sacramento, so that's in the Northern California area. And we had a wonderful opportunity to connect with people that were coming into the bookstore, the other authors, or multiple authors that were showcasing their book and doing presentations, and publishers. So we got to connect at a deeper level. And what I loved about it is a reminder that every opportunity we have to connect with another, there's a purpose behind it. Nothing is by accident or circumstance. And I think we can it's good to remember that and to be open to that, to let those connections, sometimes unexpected, happen, and go with the flow, and choose in those moments to make yourself available for a true connection, even if maybe it's a little bit different than what you expected or how you thought the day might flow. Kind of keeping tuned in to that. Oh, here's an opportunity to connect. Here's an opportunity to serve. Here's an opportunity to shine, and be on the lookout for that. So that every interaction you're having, you are being who you want to be in that. In your relationships, both personally and professionally, you are choosing to be connected. You are choosing to be fully present and to serve, to receive what is there for you, to receive, to give what is yours to give in that moment, space, and time. Because I believe there is a purpose. In fact, there's a purpose for why you have tuned in today. Because you have tuned in, I know there is something here for you, to support you, to encourage you, to empower you, to help you on your journey. And I want you to be able to receive everything that is here for you today. So those of you who are driving, I want you to be safe, please. We want you to tune in week after week. So keep both hands on the wheels, no texting and driving, inwardly tuning in and breathing, heart to heart, breath to breath with us. Those of you who are sitting, you're not driving, and are able to put both feet on the ground, I invite you to do so. Feel that ground supporting you. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And let's breathe in through our nose. See how big you can make your belly. A little bit more. And out through your mouth like through a straw. Wonderful. Let's take another breath. Close your eyes this time. You're absolutely safe. As you keep breathing, this type of breathing brings you fully present, lowers your cortisol levels, your stress levels, brings oxygen to every cell in your body, which helps you be here and be ready to fully receive. So in this space, as you're breathing, connecting in, what is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage you, empower you, uplift you, support you in your relationships and fully connecting, being present, being willing to be who it is you want to be in each of those moments and those interactions? What is it that you need today and are willing to receive, because you have choice? So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Receive that information. Take another breath. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present, and I invite you to write down what was laid on your heart and spirit so that you can keep it top of mind. I'm going to encourage you to be unattached to how that need is met, but you're actively looking for it. And in fact, perhaps excited about the unexpected way, the creative way that need will be met. And by keeping it top of mind, we're actively looking and receiving rather than missing it because we get distracted or we're assuming it'll come in a certain way, a certain form. So be open to being surprised at how that need will be met and be excited and willing to receive it through our time together today and throughout your day and week. Beautiful. One more breath. Wonderful. We're going to go around our virtual room here and just connect heart to heart with our amazing experts that are joining us today, leaning into the conversation and leaning into you. So I would love, Kimi, for you to share what was laid on your heart when we took a moment and paused and listened.
Thank you. What was laid on my heart really was about receiving the support of the humans on the planet, the angels around us, all the vibrational energy that is in the universe that is all about love and uplifting us. And part of that is about shining my light and being the beacon so that people can receive my message and really feeling and allowing that support.
Beautiful. Because it does take support to shine, to share out. And I love that important reminder that we're willing to receive that so we can shine. We can be that beacon. Beautiful. Thank you. Absolutely. Pattie, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
I think what really was impressed upon me is that we are made up of all of our experiences, whether they're good experiences, bad experiences, neutral experiences. All of those things go into who we are, how we show up, what service we provide to the rest of the world. And we should embrace all of that. Take down the facade, stop trying to look so successful and so perfect, and really embrace all of those experiences that have come together to make us who we are and make us valuable to others and more able to serve.
I love that, really embracing all of those experiences. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful reminder. Beautiful point for us to take a moment and reflect on. Sometimes we want to leave certain things at the door or appear a certain way. So I love this reminder to embrace all, and all of it is valuable and serves and helps us be who we are. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen? What's being spoken into your heart and spirit? As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, and those commercials, which we believe are valuable updates and insights for you, as those are playing in the background, I want to invite you to stay present. Resist the urge to go cross things off your to-do list. Really be willing to stay present, pause, breathe, and receive everything that's being laid on your heart and spirit. Give yourself the gift of these 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
If you've always wanted to take the lead in your life, but you don't believe you are a leader, then it's time to change that mindset. Leadership expert Linda Patton will help you discover the powerful leader that lives within and teach you the leadership skills that will transform your business and your life. Stepping into your leadership brings reality to your vision, and leadership can be learned. Find out more on Leadership Stars every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Women's Channel.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit Facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you really gave yourself the opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, listen, and receive everything that's being placed on your heart and spirit. So as we come back from our commercial break, it looks like we had a call. We have a caller on the line, and so I just wanted to welcome them aboard. And Dean, I understand that you're joining us, so I'm excited to have you calling in. Welcome to the show, and would love to hear your question.
Well, thanks. I'm really enjoying listening to all of you, and hello from North Carolina.
Welcome. Hello back.
Welcome, Dean.
So I loved the centering meditation that you began the show with, and that sort of grounding is wonderful and powerful. I wanted to ask the panel, and maybe in particular Kimi, just because I've read some of her things before. How critical do you feel it is to have the right fit of sort of a spiritual guide or coach or mentor to propel you forward in what you're talking about today?
Beautiful. Well, Dean, thank you. I appreciate your question. And let me formally introduce Kimi, just for those of us who on the show or listening in are not familiar with Kimi. And then, Kimi, I'll be happy to hand the floor over to you to answer Dean's questions. Does that sound good, Dean?
Yep, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So let me share a little bit about Kimi, and then Kimi's going to answer and address Dean's powerful question. I'm looking forward to hearing the answer. But let me share just a little bit about Kimi. Kimi Avary has a master's degree. She is a speaker, powerful speaker, a relationship navigation specialist, best-selling author, and she's the author of an upcoming book called Relationship Navigation. It Takes More Than Love, endorsed by Dr. John Gray, an NLP master practitioner and host of Partnership Bliss that we're honored to have on the RHG TV Network. Let's lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Kimi Avary to the show. Welcome!
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You are so welcome, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about your thoughts with Dean's question.
Well, I think so thank you for your question, Dean. I think that having a guide to help anybody, a coach, anybody in their personal development is really important. And in particular, the work I do where I help men and women to understand each other better, to understand the masculine and feminine motivations so that they can create harmony, so that they can live their lives in love and spend more time in that spiritual realm. It's important to have a coach who understands those dynamics. Without that, you're going to get information that sadly a lot of people have received, which is leave your partner. That doesn't, your partner is deliberately trying to hurt you. You've got to get out of there. Well, that's not the whole truth. And there's a lot of misguided information out there. So what I do is I focus on understanding the masculine and feminine so that you can navigate that well and have harmony in your experience. So I think having a coach and vetting that coach, making sure that that person is on board with supporting you in being your best self in harmony with somebody who's different than you. I think Pattie said this right at the beginning. Every single person is unique. We're all like snowflakes, so you've always heard that. And so learning to dance with another person, you can either collide and have a complete meltdown, or you can learn to dance with that person in their unique qualities as well as yours. Does that help?
Yes, that absolutely does help. And it resonates with me that makes sense. So thank you.
Yeah, I think that it's important for us to, I draw people to me who are more conscious. They want to live more in the presence of, whether they call it God, the divine, the thing itself, that spark of life that cannot be created in a test tube. And so if you're a person who wants that in their life, and I think you are because you called in and you've read my stuff, that it takes more than love to make that a place that we can live in more fully every day. It takes really learning to navigate the masculine and feminine dynamics, and then you can have more time feeling good, feeling in harmony with all there is, and
having a guide to lead you in that is essential, really.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kimi. I appreciate you sharing. And Dean, thank you so much for calling in. I hope that was supportive of you. And we'll look forward to staying connected. So glad to have you connected.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Kimi, thank you. I appreciate you supporting us in that, giving us a little bit more information. And I agree. I think it's so important that there is a guide that resonates with us, that honors some of those different experiences, as Pattie was sharing in the opening segment, to help us dance. And I love that image of dancing versus colliding with each other.
Right.
Just really, really beautiful. And I wanted to just to have you share a little bit about why this work of helping people in this way, so eloquently and beautifully, helping them discover that dance, learn how to connect and communicate and dance together. Why is that work so important to you?
It's important to me, first off, because it made the difference in my life. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to get married, have a family. All my life, that's all I ever wanted. And by the time I was 36, with a master's in counseling, a bachelor's in family studies, an NLP health certified master practitioner and trainer, it still wasn't happening. And I had just gone to the second wedding of a man I was deeply in love with and watched him marry another person. And I was crushed. I was so confused and so frustrated. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then I started studying about men from a masculine perspective, and it changed everything for me, literally everything. It made it possible for me to heal my relationship with my dad. It made it possible for me to meet and marry my husband and learn and navigate life with him, because men and women are so different that we'd be better off if we actually spoke different languages, because then we wouldn't think we were communicating.
I love that. I want to give everyone a moment to hear that. Just saying words to each other doesn't mean that we're communicating, even if we quote unquote speak the same language.
Oh my gosh!
Now I know
we miscommunicate more than we actually communicate. So what were you going to say? Apologize.
No, thank you. I know that you are working on this amazing book that you're bringing forward. You have your powerful podcast, and a common theme I hear you share about in both the book that's coming forward and in your podcast is this, that it takes more than love, one. And you said that in kind of your opening conversation, that it takes more than love. And part of that is that perhaps we haven't been taught how to navigate and connect powerfully with each other. And I'd love for you to just share a little bit and add some of your thoughts to that.
Yeah, so I sort of see it through the lens of the feminist movement, where women have earned the right, we fought really hard to have equality. And in the process, we decided that men and women were the same. And so we became masculine. We became fighters for our rights. And what I've seen after 40 years from, the really strong fighting position of the 1970s is that people are still not in harmony with each other. That path isn't working. And we need to have a different conversation. We need to have a conversation more about appreciating our differences and appreciating our unique, amazing qualities that we bring to the table in partnership. One example that I just love, and my mother and father were divorced for 14 years when she passed away. And my father, and it happened very suddenly, and my father, even though they were divorced, he helped her finalize her entire estate within 2 weeks so she could die in peace. And that's how men commit. Like once they're in, they are all in. Whether or not you're married, it doesn't matter. Like this morning, my husband is figuring out how to help his ex-wife with her rent because she's struggling right now. And that's a quality that if I didn't understand, I could be really upset. And I've seen many, many, many women be upset in that area. And because I understand it, I know that he's committed to taking care of her, but he's also committed to taking care of me. And nobody gets kicked out of a man's commitment circle if they aren't forced out. And that's one area where understanding makes such a huge difference, because women don't commit in the same way.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, we're like, oh, you were a jerk, I'm out, I'm gone. You know?
Well, and I think it's really valuable to appreciate that difference and that level of commitment and what that means, and understand that we're wired a little bit different. I think that's really, really important and valuable. So I'd love for you to share what is something, if you were to give us one tip, a piece of advice today about how we can more effectively navigate, or what's important about navigating. I love how you use that word, navigating relationship challenges.
Yeah. So the first thing would be to recognize that you've got preconceived notions and you're making assumptions and you have unexpressed expectations. So first thing is make one assumption that you don't know what your partner's thinking or anybody around you. You really don't know. So number two is remember that that person likely has a positive intention behind what they were doing, even if you don't understand it. So learn to recognize in yourself, there's an NLP presupposition that says behind every behavior is a positive intention.
I love that.
On. Yeah.
Yes. And now let's take a moment before we go to number 3. I just want to give everyone an opportunity to hear that, because our time is going so fast. One, really understand that we're making assumptions sometimes about why people are doing things that we really don't know what they're thinking. Sometimes we think we do, but we don't, and be open to that. And two, that there's this positive intention somewhere at the root of why they did what they did. If we have time, we're going to come back to that number 3, but I know you've prepared an amazing gift, and I want to make sure we give everyone an opportunity to hear about it so we can present it to them. So I'm going to have Kimi share about her amazing gift, and then I will let everyone know how to find it. So Kimi, would you share?
Okay, so it's called How to Create a Romantic Relationship That Thrives. It's a 3-part audio series that what you're going to get out of it. It's in my membership site, you'll get that. But what you're going to get out of it is how to identify how to balance your head, heart, and gut. That's really important in your relationship. Like, what does your head say? Your head might be coming from a fearful place, but your heart says, oh, yes. And your gut's like giving you some accurate information. How do you balance those? And use all of your inner wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. And the second thing, actually, I'm out of order a little bit, bulletproof. Many of us have these shields up between us and love that keeps us in a cage, and it also keeps love out. Whether we're already in a relationship or we are struggling to find one, dissolving the shields between you and love is a big factor. So that's another piece, and that will change your life because you're going to be open to love now.
Wonderful. Can you just 30 seconds or 15 seconds for the third?
Sure. And the third thing is about living in integrity and being true to yourself. We often compromise on what's important to us. We don't make great deals. And the third piece is about how to live in integrity. It's a fabulous gift. Beautiful. It's going to change your life in every aspect.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Kimi. I appreciate you making this generous gift available to all of us. What a rich opportunity. So, listeners, I want you to take a moment and write this down. If you go to radiogifts.net, radiogifts.net, it's a net full of multiple gifts. and type in your name and email address so we can stay in touch. And then you'll scroll down to today's date, which is August 14th. That's the day we're doing the broadcast live. And you'll see Kimi's picture, and you can click on yes to her amazing gift. And she'll ask for your name and email address so she can stay in touch and get that into your hands. So write down radiogifts.net and scroll to today's date so you can access Kimi's amazing gift. We hope that you lean in. As we go to our next commercial break, it could be an wonderful opportunity to go to that library and access that gift. And you can see many gifts that we've added there, but today we're highlighting Kimi's gift. I encourage you to lean in, say yes, and use these 2 minutes to stop, pause, and integrate what's being spoken into your heart and spirit around our relationships. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship, and anxiety expert Sandra Reish. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you did have an opportunity to go to radiogifts.net, say yes to Kimi's generous gift. I'll remind you one more time at the end of the show if you didn't get a chance to write that down, so we can be fully present and ready to receive powerful information from our next amazing guest expert. So let me share just a little bit about Pattie. You heard from her in the opening segment when she was sharing about really embracing all of us, all of our experiences, and receiving that and being willing to bring all of that to all that we do. So let me just share a little bit about her. In 1995, she encountered a life-changing event that set the course for the rest of her career, turning a dead-end saga of mere survival to a journey of empowerment, a journey of stepping into her power. She is a leader in performance and change management, a sought-after speaker at conferences, and a best-selling author on Amazon of The Resilience Factor is Your Superpower. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Pattie Vargas to the show. Welcome!
Thank you, Rebecca. That's very kind. That's the greatest welcome I've been given this morning. So,
well, we should have every morning start like that, right?
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. And I know a lot of what you bring to the work that you do is really helping us. We've been talking about relationships and shining in that personally and professionally, but looking at that relationship that we have with ourselves. And I know that we opened in sharing about you in 1995 that you had this life-changing event. And I was wondering if you would mind sharing a little bit about that and why you do what you do.
Sure, I'd love to. I had the not so unique experience of having a long-term marriage end very suddenly, caught me completely unawares, very unexpected. And what I learned during that time was you had a choice. Every time life kind of throws you a curve, you have a choice of either becoming a victim of that circumstance or figuring out how am I going to work through this. We can either avoid things, and get stuck wherever that is, that this happened to us, or we look at it from a different perspective. Like in my case, yeah, this sucks. This is unexpected. This is the worst possible thing I could imagine, which it wasn't. But that's how we could look at it. Or we can say, this is a chance to learn more about myself, figure out how to push through adversity, how to make it a part of my whole life experience. And in turn, be able to share that with other people, because, adversity is nothing new, and it certainly isn't unique to any of us. Everybody goes through this. So that was sort of what happened with me. I became a single mom overnight, with all of the challenges and pressures, that go along with that, and just decided that wasn't going to be the end of my story.
I love that even in that moment that you, as you were going through that, and I suspect shock because it was very unexpected, that you decided to not be a victim and to face that adversity and the challenge, and that wasn't the end of your story, and you were going to write a new story with a different ending. And I think that's really, really powerful. And I know you've done a lot of work in working with organizations and helping people manage through change. And I'd love for you to share how that journey in your own journey and in facing adversity and not being a victim, how did that lead you to such an interest in helping others manage through their change?
Well, change is change, right? And it affects everybody differently. But I like to say that change is always personal. So a lot of times if we're looking at organizational change, the leaders of an organization might be looking at it from a financial standpoint or a viability standpoint, and not necessarily realizing that whatever this organizational change is that they're contemplating is going to have a deep and personal impact on the people working through that change. So it's very much the same as somebody going through a personal life change. I'm working in a company, I did this job, now I'm going to be doing it this way. Maybe I'm not going to be doing it with the people I've always done it with. And that can be very personal and very disruptive and introduce a lot of chaos. So what I coach my corporate clients on is pay as much attention to the human side of change as you are paying to the mechanics of this change.
Beautiful.
The people in an organization, it changes the narrative from this is being thrust upon me to I have some say in this. I have a little bit of control in this.
And I could see how that could translate to any change as well, because I think sometimes we can go through the mechanics, or we can look at it from a financial, or I have to do it, or this is a change that we're doing from a very intellectual kind of place. And yet there are some feelings that are attached to that, and very real personal, emotional things as well. And if we separate it, I think we move through it in a less powerful way. I would love your thoughts on that.
Yes, absolutely. So in my case, when my marriage ended, there were mechanical things, tactical things that I had to do, and I had no choice about it. I was currently in a job that I not only didn't like, I hated the job, and had been, interviewing and trying to move out of that, and suddenly had to take a step back and say, look, this is a steady gig. This is going to pay my bills. Now is not the time to be making drastic changes in this area. And having to make that decision could have forced me into a feeling of no control. I don't have any choice. I have to do this. And that could bleed over into everything else. And so it's important that we say, this is a choice I have to make. I don't like it, but it's the right choice to do right now. But what else can I make some changes on? And that had everything to do with how did I want to have a relationship with my children? What kind of a relationship did I want to have with their father? What kind of relationships did I want surrounding me in general? What kind of people did I want to hang out with? And what kind of person did I want to be as I was going through this? Those are all things within my control, where the other was not.
Beautiful. And I love that, because there are choices that you're making. It's not all I have to, and you get to weigh. And even when you were saying that about the job, that I choose to stay here because it's a steady gig, it'll help what I need, it'll pay the bills that I need to pay. You were choosing that, and at the same time you acknowledged you didn't like it, you acknowledged the feeling, and then you made that decision. And when, in a sense, your life had shifted and changed, you stepped into making choices that were going to move you in the direction that was in alignment with now who you were wanting to be, how you were wanting to move forward. I love this. I'd love for you to share a little bit about how maybe men and women are just wired a little bit differently. We've been talking about that with Kimi as well, that we're different. So most people agree we're different. And is there a way that women maybe have an advantage around change, or something more they can tap into around there that's sometimes overlooked?
I think that women handle change differently, and sometimes from the outside, it might appear that we handle change better. It's not better, it's just different. Okay. And what I find in working with men and women who are trying to navigate through some kind of change, men tend to come up with a solution very quickly, and just as quickly they are married to that solution. It's, they're gonna follow this through by God, whether all the flashing lights are saying no. Whereas women, I think, before they make a decision, are more likely to solicit the input of others, maybe be a little bit more collaborative in that decision making, and consider other alternatives, as well as considering how is this going to affect us holistically? How is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect my department? Whatever the case may be, and not as prone to stick to it, whether it's right or wrong. They'll listen to the input of others. So I think if you step back and look at it, and look at what the end result is, that's why I think possibly a woman's approach to it might be a more effective way of dealing with change.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for bringing a spotlight to that, and how that can really be a strength and can be something to take a look at things and before making that decision and looking to move things forward, not just because it was the first idea, but because in looking and weighing everything, that really felt like that was the best course of action. So I love that we have the ability to step into that, and I think it's good to play to that strength if we've got it. And then I love, men tend to take that action, so we've got to remember to take the action too. So that's good. I appreciate that, because it is important to bring all aspects in that way. And our time has been going so quickly, and I did want to circle back to one of the things we talked about in the opening segment. We were talking about shining, really showing up in our lives, both personally and professionally. And I know that you are a specialist in resilience. And so I'd love for you to tie in just some comments and thoughts about our personal resilience and how can that help us shine.
Well, I believe that we develop resilience by going through things. Unfortunately, that's the way it happened. I also believe wholeheartedly that adversity makes us better people. That unless we've gone through things and emerged on the other side with scars and lessons to share, that we're really not of much use to anybody. That advice or platitudes, whatever, from somebody who has never really experienced any kind of adversity is nothing but theory. Whereas the things that we have experienced make us multifaceted, they give more texture to our lives, and they give credibility to what it is that we want to share with others. And as you step through different times of your life and continue to exercise and build that resilience, when the next thing comes along, and it always does, you say, hey, I survived that. I will survive this.
Beautiful.
If you think I can't get through this, just watch me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And it gives such a beauty to resilience. And so I'm just also thinking, I remember having these conversations with my dad back in my teens. And one of the things he used to give me some amazing, powerful wisdom and advice. But I was at that stage where I was learning where I started and stopped and wanted to figure everything out. And I wanted to experience everything. And I go, would you just let me make some bad decisions? Can't I just learn this? I did learn this on my own, so I know this through experience. And a little bit later on, I grew to appreciate that some of that wisdom and advice he was giving me is because he had gone through it, right? It's from that place of resilience and wisdom. And I learned it's a lot smoother process to listen to that kind of advice and wisdom that's been hard-lived, loved, and survived and apply it to your life. And then you can go do other things. But I had a little bit of a learning curve in that. He was very patient. He didn't give up on me. So I appreciate that. So thank you so much for sharing and giving such beauty to that resilience and looking back on our track record of surviving, that we can too and do this as well. And that helps us, I think, dig into that even more and be willing to share from that place of wisdom and advice. And people will listen, even if it takes a little time sometimes. So thank you, Pattie. I so appreciate you sharing and being on the show today. And listeners, we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. I hope you enjoy these next 2 minutes. Give yourself an opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all of our show archives on demand, all from your iOS, Amazon Kindle, or Android device. Download it from the Apple App Store, Amazon, or Google Play, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. It's just been an honor to have you join us in this conversation today. I hope that you have been encouraged, equipped, and empowered to live on purpose and with great purpose. I'm so thankful to our amazing guests and sponsors that have leaned into the conversation and into each and every one of you. Now, behind the scenes, I asked our amazing guests if they had just one more thought. And for those of you who have been waiting for that item number 3 from Kimi, that cliffhanger, she has risen to the challenge in 30 seconds or less. She's going to give you that update, that final third part that she wanted to make sure that she shared with you. So, Kimi, I'd love for you to share.
Thank you. So, number 3. Learn or choose to learn about other people. Become voraciously curious about your partner, your would-be partner, your business colleagues. Become curious. What could have had them do that way? And one way to set you up with that is to say, hey, I'm curious, blah, blah, blah. And then ask your question, because that word sets you up.
Great. Thank you. I love become voraciously curious and ask the question versus make the assumption. Beautiful. Thank you. So, Pattie, how about you? What is on your heart that you want to share with our listeners today?
Well, there's a little card that I have up above my desk that says, "This is a life lesson, not a life sentence." And that you're not being judged for things you've done. You're not being punished for some past misdeeds. It's a life lesson. So it's in our power then to decide, where does that lesson go? What do I take away from this? How do I become the author of my own life and write the end of this story? I like the metaphor of our life being a continuum, and we don't really know where that continuum ends. But everything that we experience are dots on that continuum. And if we look at just one dot up close, it's not the accurate story of our entire life.
Wonderful reminder. So this is not the end of the story. It's not a complete sentence. This is just a lesson. This is just one dot in that continuum. What a beautiful reminder, and gives us great perspective. Thank you, Pattie. I appreciate it. And listeners, as you get ready to go back out into the world, I want to thank you one more time for joining us today. It is an honor and privilege to walk beside you. I hope that you tune in each week and we get to continue that journey together. But as you go back out into the world, I want to remind you that you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose and for a purpose. And in fact, for such a time as now. And I hope that as you go forth, you choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.